Welcome back to the Knights of Ni. I'm Jordan, and today we're going to look at Ghazghkull Thraka, the Beast. So, as everybody knows, with COVID-19 we had trouble getting models whenever we wanted to, but I finally got a hold of the Ghazghkull Thraka box, or the Prophet and the Beast, or whatever they're calling it now. And after I started assembling them, I realized, I need to push myself a little bit more, so I'll just try something I've never tried, and I went for non-metal metallic, and it worked very well. I think it turned out quite well. We're going to talk about that actually a little bit. Not so much Ghazghkull. You can look up his rules. There's dozens of people who talk about him, how to use him, etc., etc. But he's a fantastic model. But we're going to talk about the non-metal metallic and ways I can improve, and hopefully things will help you do something like this or do better than I did. So let's go right into it. First thing that I did is I prime all my models black. It's just how I paint. It's how I've always painted. I've been painting that way for 20 years. I like black undercoat. It helps hide your mistakes for sure, and it means you don't have to paint every single square inch of the model like if you prime white or gray, but I just prefer working on black and layering up. That's just what I do. With non-metal metallics, I think that's a mistake. I think you need to start with the middle range gray that you're going to use, or gray blue or gray green that you're going to use for your model, and then that is, at least for the metal parts, and you can prime and then base coat from there up. But if you're going to do NMM, you need to start with your middle tone gray. That's going to save you so much time and so much effort. I kind of do things backwards. I worked from black, and then I started with my darkest grays, and then I worked up, and then I I laid in my whites, and then I came back to my darker grays and layered them in, and then worked from the middle gray to kind of blend them in as best I could. And then I went to the white and tried to blend them in, and back and forth and back and forth. I'm not sure that's the best way to go about it. I'm sure there's just so many different theories. I had done two or three test models. I think I did two dwarf miners from Fantasy before I went at it. One I did in these weird greens, and that was terrible. And then I took the greens out and used a blue, and that was a lot better, at least for what I wanted. And then when I came to Ghazghkull, it just kind of clicked. And then I decided, I can't put bronze on here or gold on here. I need to make my own gold or my own bronze NMM. And I watched one tutorial that I found on YouTube, and I just went with it, and I think it worked better than the rest of the model. He's got some on his back, he's got his pipes, his gun, he's got some extra gubbings under there that I'm not sure you'll be able to see when he spins around. And then I did his whole model, and I'm like, I should do it for the base too. Made his custom base. I would say doing golds is far easier than doing metals. It's a lot less time consuming. I couldn't even tell you how much time I spent on the claw. I think 10 hours maybe. And that's a lot of time. I don't think I've ever spent that much amount of time on any model, let alone a piece of a model. And that just his claw was 10, and then the rest of him, I think this whole project was 16, 17 hours. That is unheard of for me. Normally I'm painting something in 4 to 6 hours, and that's when I cap it off, or I just don't have the patience for it. But I would paint something on him, set him down, and come back the next day, and that helped quite a bit, was just walking away from the project after painting for an hour and a half. But I did a lot of wet blending, and I think that was my weakest suit, and I learned a lot of things about mixing paints, and you put water in your paint like everybody else does, you thin your paints, but then that expedites your dry time. And I think I used Lamia medium, and that helped a little bit, but I think what would really help would be airbrush thinner maybe. But the Lamia medium helped quite a bit in extending my dry times and allowing me to mix some colors. but I just couldn't get the thinness right and the pigment down right, and it really ate at me while I was working on it. But it worked out. I think this is one of the best models I've ever painted, and I'm gonna probably go out of my way to use him frequently. I mean, like all the time, because he's just such a cool model. His rules are pretty good. I'm just thinking about ways I can give him even more attacks with like wizards or different formations, and should I play Goths and abandon my bad moons for a little bit of time? But it's so hard to say. But he's so great. He's so fun to put together, and I just cannot wait to get him on the table. And I hope I get to see everybody else's models and see what you're working on. You all have a great weekend.